Vikings get their first win of the season, beating the Houston Texans. Final score 31-23. Before we get into the breakdown and the takeaways and the X's and O's from yesterday's game, I want to start with this. The ejection. The Harrison Hitman Smith ejected for targeting on Jordan Akins. And listen, I can appreciate the concept of targeting when you think about guys like Vontaze Burfict, who's no longer in the league. He's either a free agent or he's retired. I think about guys like Grayson Allen when he played for Duke. I think about guys like the Morris twins that play in the NBA for the Lakers and Clippers. Guys that go out of their way to go the extra mile for no fucking reason. They will put other players in physical harm. They will put their well-being in harm's way. So you have to protect other athletes from pieces of shits like those. I think about targeting. I think about malicious intent. Okay, was this avoidable? Why did you go out of your way to make this move? You could have done something else to make a safer play while still making the tackle. Jordan Akins, he makes the grab, and Harrison Smith, it was such a bang-bang play that Jordan Akins, immediately after the catch, lowered his helmet, and it happened so fast. And when I saw it in real time, I was like, oh, yeah, oh, wow, that's a hard hit. Then they showed it again. They threw the flag. They showed it again. I said, oh, okay, I guess it's helmet. They'll do helmet to helmet. Bang, bang play. Let me guess, unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty. Oh, my God, he got ejected? Targeting? Are you serious right now? This is something that the NFL seriously has to review because Harrison Smith is one of the most honorable players in the whole National Football League. In fact, when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, I can only think of one dirty player in this entire Mike Zimmer era, and that was Andrew Sendejo, where if this dude got targeting calls left and right, you say, oh, yeah, it's Andrew Sendejo. Harrison Smith, it was such a bang-bang play, and it's like the defense have already been strapped down as far as what they're allowed to do. The rules are more geared towards the offense as it is. So the defense they're already defenseless when it comes to several things in this league. Now it comes to this. That was bullshit. And you saw the effect of it because I thought the defense for the Vikings overall was fantastic yesterday. If not for the Harrison Smith ejection, the Vikings would have won by at least 2 scores, maybe even 3, because after Harrison Smith went out, George Iloka, I would say he was responsible for giving up 2 touchdowns. So that really had a big-time effect. I thought it was bullshit. I think they should rescind it. I don't think they should fine him. If they do, if the NFL does fine him, the Wolves should pay it. That's bullshit. What they did to Harrison Smith was absolutely unnecessary. Now we get into the actual breakdown of the game. I talked about how last week's podcast, the Vikings versus Texans preview podcast, listen, if Mike Zimmer wants to do his old school style of football, he has every right to do it because the common theme for the Houston Texans opponents up to this point was they run the ball more than they pass. Their run defense is super shitty, and even though their pass defense, at least before Sunday, they were the 3rd best in terms of passing yards allowed per game, they still give up a high completion percentage. So you can run the ball like crazy but still get yours in the passing game, and we saw that. The Minnesota Vikings, they outran the ball more than they passed by damn near a 2-to-1 ratio. But guess what? The receiving weapons, they still got theirs. Adam Thielen, over 100 yards receiving. Justin Jefferson, over 100 yards receiving again for the 2nd straight game. Dalvin Cook, over 100 yards rushing. The playmakers that we got, they got theirs. The Vikings got the win. Everybody's happy. And the crazy thing is, what we saw yesterday, this could have been the blueprint. Not so much the run-to-pass ratio, but this could have been what we've seen. This could have been the blueprint for the Minnesota Vikings for the last several years with Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, and Dalvin Cook, whereas, oh my God, you have a strong run game, but you still have these high-profile receivers. You could have been the 2018 LA Rams, and if the defense is on point, the Minnesota Vikings could have been legit Super Bowl contenders. But I digress. Then I saw this by Mike Zimmer, and I wasn't drinking anything at the time, but if I did, I would have spat my drink out. He said, go ahead and be aggressive here. Talking about Mike Zimmer telling Gary Kubiak when they were leading 24-16 early in the 4th quarter. Mike Zimmer said, quote, go ahead and be aggressive here. Don't be afraid to throw the ball. And I said, what? Who is this guy? So you know what? as much as I shit on Mike Zimmer, he deserves a ton of credit for saying, okay, let's be aggressive here, because they still had a chance to somehow lose that game. The Vikings were in control from the jump of that game, and the fact that they damn near lost is really a head scratch. I mean, George Iloka being there. If Harrison Smith was in that game would have been over. But kudos to Mike Zimmer for finally saying, you know what, let's up our game. Let's put our foot on the gas. Let's not pussyfoot around. So he deserves a ton of credit. Then we get back to Justin Jefferson, which brings up, and I haven't done this in the past couple of weeks because there's been nothing really motivating me to do it, but we're going to bring it back again, the double R play of the game.
To make something happen for our squad. Throw is caught by Jefferson. What an adjustment on the sideline. And a first down, Vikings.
All right, so the reason why I picked this play is because you can see here off the snap release, Justin Jefferson, he fakes inside before going outside and going straight away what looks like a fade route. And Kirk Cousins, I feel like he could have thrown a better ball over the top to lead Justin Jefferson in stride. Now, the key here is Justin Jefferson, his back at this point, at the point of the throw, is facing the sidelines. His front is facing the inside of the hash marks, and Kirk Cousins throws towards the sidelines. So Justin Jefferson turns around, does a 180 off of what looks like 1 foot and then midair and catches it towards the sidelines. Do you know how hard that is to do? This dude is special. I'm eating crow every time I watch this dude play, and I absolutely love it. This guy is something special, man. That is the double R play of the game. And so what does this mean for the Minnesota Vikings moving forward? Well, if you're looking for the optimistic side of things, I will say this. The Vikings offense, and the play calling for that matter, these last 2 weeks, they've really gotten their shit together, both against the Titans last week, even in a loss, and against the Texans yesterday. The defense gave up less than 100 yards on the ground. They gave up less than 4 yards per carry. So you're starting to see them trend in the right direction, at least opposed to the first 2 weeks of the season. It's like night and day. The flip side is you're not going to be going up against the Houston Texans every week. So maybe they're trending, maybe they're getting more competitive. I just wonder at 1-3 at this point if it's too little, too late. Also, if you're on the tank for Trevor Lawrence train, right now you're probably disappointed because they are now out the running with the Houston Texans. They have Deshaun Watson. They would maybe trade that pick if they got the number 1 pick. The New York Giants, the New York Jets, and the Atlanta Falcons, who maybe can pull an upset over the Green Bay Packers, but I don't see it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The Minnesota Vikings are now 1-3. Mediocre at Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. We do this 3 times a week. Catch me on Twitter at realistic_Randy, Facebook at Realistic Randy. Free my man Harrison Smith. Pay his fine, Wilfs. He doesn't deserve it. It's bullshit. We'll see you next time.